best a 72-hour supply of food. And if something goes wrong, resupply will not happen quickly. You should have at least a 90-day supply of your favorites because it will allow you to weather the worst crisis and make plans for the future. The answer is newmanna.com. Numanna. New Manna is not just food storage, but really tasty food that you will enjoy eating. New Manna food is designed to last for 25 years, but many people enjoy it several times a week. Now is the time to lay in a supply of tasty New Manna food for your family. Be prepared and know your family is safe. Go to newmanna.com right now for fast delivery. That's newmanna.com.
You've got to ask yourself one question. Do I feel lucky? Well, do you, punk?
Live from Houston, Texas, a man who calls it like he sees it, without the normal political correctness you may have grown comfortable with. It's time for the Texas Perspective on current news and events. This show is not for the faint of heart or easily offended. Clear your desk, get your number 2 pencil ready. The Inquisition is about to begin.
Nobody respects the Spanish Inquisition.
If you have questions, please refer them and make them good.
Go ahead, make my day.
The doctor is in, and he will see you now.
Well, I guess we better get on with it.
Oh, yeah, we're getting on the show today, and I don't know what's changed here, but I got some audio stuff going on, so you guys are going to have to tell me what is happening because I can't really tell. I'm getting some stuff open, and I'll have the chat room open here in a minute. It is Thursday, and of course, it's the last Thursday of the month, and as is our wont, we have my good friend Wally Wood joining us live in the studio today. And Wally, welcome to the show.
Go ahead and turn me up so I can hear me again.
There we are. That's much better. It's I don't know. Computers are strange. Because a minute ago, all the settings that I had looked beautiful, and then as soon as we go to air, all of a sudden you're overexposed, and you're sure. So
that's just my personality coming through.
That's got to be what it is. So anyway, we got to turn that brightness down
and the volume of the phone right down.
And we're being joined by my good friend, Diana Ploss. Welcome to the show, Diana.
Hello, Doc Green. It's always a pleasure. Thank you for having me. Doc Green.
Well, Diana Ploss, I understand that you were actually out at some governor's mansion or something today. That was the word I heard. Tell me.
One person can make a difference. So we had a protest of governor of Massachusetts in front of his $1 million home.
Mm-hmm.
How you know that God has a sense of humor? This man calls himself a Republican, hates President Trump, votes for him in 2016. He lives in a town, he's a skater.
Yeah.
He lives in a town called Swamp Scott.
We're going to clean the swamp.
You didn't ring the bell. The bell for that one.
I'm sorry. I'm still setting up other stuff in here, but yes, you're absolutely right.
Town, he's a swamp creature that lives in a town called Swamp Scott. You cannot make this stuff up. Right?
That would be Governor Charlie Baker, right?
I call him Charlie.
Charlie, okay, because the truth is not in him.
Exactly. So he's a very affluent town.
Mm-hmm.
He's about a block and a half beautiful view.
Yeah.
He does not have an American flag flying in front of his house.
Well, you don't want to be too partisan, Diana Ploss.
You're right, because he does support the commies.
Yeah.
But what's interesting, Doc, is I got reports that he had at least 25 police officers there. They put saw horses for right? Because I'm from Boston.
Yeah.
Saw horses all around his house to prevent parking. There was so much press there. Helicopter overhead, right? What I'm telling people, all your listeners, that one person, Doc Green, can make a difference. One person. We can back our country, no matter the most communist state that you live in, like Massachusetts.
Mm-hmm.
We can. There were people. There weren't. We didn't have a ton of people there because there were nobody from the Republican Party was there.
It's amazing to me. So you're telling me you went over there personally to the governor's mansion, which I have up on the screen right now, where he lives, and
yes. And
of course now in this one, in this picture, it's probably an old picture because it is showing an American flag there.
They probably put that in there. So right now, I was there. It's on my.
Mm-hmm.
I've gone there 2 other 2.5 3. One, I think one time was July 4th. One was maybe Veterans Day.
Mm-hmm.
I know one was Veterans Day. I did a video in front of his house.
Yeah.
No American flag.
I've got your website up for everybody. What would that be under?
So you can go to my Facebook page. That's where the video is. I'm banned from sharing. So go to Diana Ploss' Facebook page. The live footage from today. No American flag. And what's interesting, Doc, is if you don't think that this communist party virus all a plan to usher in the new world order, look around, folks. Because I had to drive probably on the shoreline leading up to his beautiful house.
Yeah.
Probably at least 1.5 miles. Government of cities have done is they orange and white barrels that have flashes on the top,
mm-hmm.
and they put them in all the parking spots along the beach so people go there.
Oh, how nice!
This is in Massachusetts. So then you go those sawhorses, so nobody parks, right?
Yeah.
He has all the police there. He had some of the trolls that were actually there supporting him. And then there were so many trolls on my live stream. I've never had that many trolls. That's what he did.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, now I've got the picture of you up in front of his house there, and looks like were there some people there with you earlier, or was that an earlier shot?
I don't know which picture you have.
It looked like it was at maybe a church or something in there.
Oh, was that going on to see which shot you have on there, and I'm going to share this. So of course my computer shuts down, but there were people there. Yeah,
I'm glad I'm not the only one that has these kind of problems, Diana.
It shut down when I was getting ready to pull up your show so I could share it.
Oh, such is life.
Yeah, so there's a church that's across from his house, a church that is shut down, as in Massachusetts. So in the same day, you can go to the liquor store, you can get your pot, you can go and have an abortion, but you can't go to church for your session.
Oh,
So that's what's going on here. They are putting more, and people don't believe it. They're putting more and more restrictions on us, Doc. Every day you hear of a new town that will pass an ordinance that says you have to have a mask and gloves to go into any business, grocery store, any business in their town or city. Getting more restrictive.
One of the things we're going to talk about, Diana, today on the show, as I've got my friend Wally Wood here. Wally Wood's a longtime newsman here in the Houston area.
Hello, Diana.
Hello, Wally Wood.
Hello.
Hello.
And one of the things we're going to talk about today is ID 2020, because one of the things that Wally Wood is a genius at is marrying things that were foretold in the Bible thousands of years ago with current events. I always enjoy having him on because he's so good at doing that. But this is what we're seeing, and I don't know how the sheeple are doing up there in Massachusetts, but I can tell you down here in Texas, right now, if they announced that they had a train that was going to take them to a place where there was no COVID-19 Chinese virus, everybody would be competing for seats.
You mean they're folding like cheap suits?
Yes.
Yes, that's what's going on in Massachusetts. They're folding like cheap suits.
I just can't believe it. I mean, everybody thinks that here in Texas, the home of the Alamo, that we've got this incredible rebellious spirit. But I can tell you the people that do that are definitely in the minority. And we're having a big rally at the Alamo on Saturday.
On Saturday.
Yes, and we'll be there Saturday 25th. And I don't know what's going to happen. Just remember this, nobody arrests a battalion. And so if we have a few hundred people show up, we're going to have a great time. If me and 10 of my closest friends show up, they'll arrest us all.
Right. But you know what you're doing, which is what we did. We didn't have a ton of people, but we did have a group of people that in a sort of caravan with Trump signs and flags hanging out the window. We had the Trump truck from New Hampshire going around, kept going around the block. In front of the Charlie Baker's house. People see us. People are afraid because they don't understand. They don't know what's going on, but they know, Doc, they know in their gut that something's wrong. But they'll see us, and that'll help them be stronger.
Well, that's what I hope. I hope I'm inspiring somebody. Gloria Weaving is saying, "Hi, Diana."
Hi, Gloria. Hi, Gloria. That's a song.
Yeah.
It is. I know that song. But I'm older than you are, so I think her name is G-L-O-R. That's where I'm at, okay? So, but I know the song you're speaking of as well, and I see Kathy Losetta in there. She's written a new book that we're going to be talking about why Christians need to vote, and she'll be on the show tomorrow. I'm also going to go to a rally here at the Houston City Hall today after the show, and I'll try to live stream some of that.
Oh, good. I'll stay tuned so that I can share it, right? Because that's how we have to do this, right? And
well, we do, because between your audience and my audience, we reach a lot of people.
Exactly. And you know something? Give me 30 seconds for a commercial break.
Okay.
I want to introduce you to somebody. I'd love for you to have her on your show. Her name is Gretchen Smith, and she runs an organization called Code of Vets, and she helps veterans all over the country, and she does it via social media. She has a huge following, on my show yesterday. They're in dire need right now. So I'm going to connect you with her if you don't mind.
Oh, I appreciate all of the people that you do connect me with, and we've had a number of them on the show. I'm sorry I couldn't go to the gun rally yesterday for the gun runner, or the day before. I wish I could have done that.
That's all right. Oh, my God, that was wonderful. Sorry, I know this thing, like us who are doing all of this part, it's very hard for us to do all the other stuff, right?
Yeah.
But this John Costa, good up to the governor of Massachusetts, and so we went down there just to support him. Wanted to surprise him. I mean, he was stoked up. Here's a man who served in military for us. A guy
a real man.
A real man. He escaped socialism when he was a toddler, right? And what baffles me, Doc, is that Massachusetts, the home of the revolution, has people who own sportsmen's clubs and firearm stores. Why are they closing? Stay open.
Well, especially after Donald Trump said, no, these guys are essential.
Exactly. But the governor of Massachusetts took that part out.
Oh.
That part out. But my question is, Governor be calming self. Why is it that you don't stand your ground? If everybody stays open, what are they going to do? Arrest everybody?
That's the problem, though. You see, this is what I blame. This is why my hashtag abolish public school. I blame the public school system for the destruction of America, Diana Ploss.
Oh, but see, I just go basic. So you're so much more sophisticated than I am, Doc Green. I just go basic. These people are lacking testosterone. Okay, very basic.
Well, I can't necessarily argue that. Maybe we need to get that testosterone booster for everybody. On the other hand, I'm just amazed at the willingness to just give up our rights. And then when I talk about this stuff, everybody says, "Oh no, but they said you got to wear a mask." Well, I pointed out that the mask doesn't prevent the disease from going through it. The virus is actually smaller than the pores in any of the masks, except for the most serious ones, which they don't even have enough of for hospital professionals, let alone everyone else. The whole thing is a big bologna sandwich. And we need to stand up against this thing. And you're doing it. I'm doing it. You got a few friends there I see in the video that are doing it. But, you know, when we had this big rally at the Alamo, in a state of 28 million legal residents, I think we have another 12 million illegal residents in Texas. But in a state of 28 million legal residents, I would expect there to be 10,000 people at this rally. And seriously, what am I expecting? I'm expecting maybe 150 people.
Right, because I just don't understand it. But here's the thing. This is what the communists knew, right? They knew that people would get with this virus, right? They knew what they were doing. But here's the thing. You know that I have a medical.
I did not know that, Diana Ploss.
So I have double masters in nursing.
Mm-hmm.
And right away I had a funny feeling. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
About this. But they're saying it's so bad. You get respiratory illnesses. They get transferred when you have close contact with somebody over a prolonged period of time. You don't get it when you go into the grocery store.
Yes.
You don't get it that way. You don't get it when you go for a walk. Now, if you went for a walk on a bench for you could get it if he had it. That's possible, right?
Yep.
Walking in a park. It's not happening.
It's not going to happen. And see, what you're talking about there as a medical professional, there's been additional research studies where they have proven that most of the time human-to-human transmission results from people that are in continuous close contact. There is no evidence whatsoever to support casual contact spreading this dread disease. And I don't know if you're still watching on TV, but our local news here, I had to bring this up. KPRC 20, NBC, Harris County, face coverings required in public, face masks required starting Monday, April 27th for 30 days, and 10 years or older must wear face coverings. And then it says homemade masks, scarves, bananas.
Unbelievable.
So
let me ask you a question, John.
Now, did you catch the part about bananas? They're recommending that you wear bananas.
Oh, they didn't say bandanas?
No, they said bananas. And I've got it up on the screen so everybody can see it. Because, ladies and gentlemen, this is NBC News. This is a major news operation in the fourth largest media market in the United States. Right there. And a possible $1,000 fine if you don't wear your banana. So,
wow. So everybody should go out with a banana on.
That's what I'm thinking. And I've already seen a whole bunch of guys on my Facebook page, and they figured out various ingenious ways to strap on a banana. It's hilarious.
Well, I was going to say.
I have not heard that one in conjunction with this. That's great. I'm probably going to use that.
Watch your
I mean,
innuendos.
it is.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this hypothetical question.
Okay.
Doc Green. What over a prolonged period of time?
Well, the documented close contact that we know for a fact results in the spreading of the disease is people that are together for more than 12 hours a day with breathing the same air for 12 hours a day or more. That is where most of the disease gets spread. If you want to make sure your entire family gets this disease, that's what y'all need to do. Y'all need to stay at home together, breathe the same air, and then everybody gets to share.
So you beat me to the punch, right? Because where are those places 12 hours together with you?
Well,
You're home.
Yeah, because
And
even at work, you don't do that.
And stay home.
Yep. Now, the whole thing is a big scam. Now, is there a virus? Oh, I'm certain there is, because I've got too much medical documentation to support it. But I've also got a huge amount of medical documentation that says not only is it a virus, but that this is a created, modified virus that could not exist in nature. And the guy said the good news is that when it mutates without the modification. So he said nature abhors something that's artificial, and it just dies off in nature. And the other thing is, Diana Ploss, and you're going to have to wait for this up there in Massachusetts, but the other thing is it hates hot air. Once the temperature gets over 80 degrees, the virus dies a very quick death. So that's just the truth, Diana Ploss.
So let's all the people who have it, to a hot place.
That's it.
Like Fiji.
So, yeah, Fiji would be good. Yes, indeed.
Like Fiji. Is Fiji hot? Is it hot in Fiji?
It is hot in Fiji. That would probably work. I mean, look, here's the deal. How did we get rid of the tuberculosis thing? We got rid of that by quarantining everybody together on an island. If you want to get rid of this, you could do the same thing. But the truth is, Diana Ploss, not only is quinine effective, I've got 3 doctors' cases that I followed. Between the 3 doctors, more than 150 cases confirmed, and 100% recovery rate with quinine.
Right, and it's cheap. And you know where? I was listening to a doctor, Doc Green, separate from you. Couldn't get it. Drink Schweppes tonic water.
Schweppes tonic water, because it's got quinine in it, and it will build your resistance.
Exactly. And you know what else builds your resistance? Getting outside and standing up.
That's the best one. That's the best one right there. Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching on TV, we're talking to Diana Ploss, and I've got her graphic up there. The Diana Ploss Show is on WSMN 1590. And Diana is a true patriot up there in Massachusetts. And today she decided to go over and pay a little visit to the governor's house. Now, I did the same thing last Thursday here with the Texas governor. And you know what? We actually had 150 of us show up and knock on his door, and he wouldn't come out and talk to us. I don't understand it. Why not? I don't think he wanted to hear what we had to say, if you want to know the truth, Diana Ploss.
You offended, Doc Green?
Well, no.
Disturbed.
Because truthfully, if I'd have gotten the chance to talk to him, it probably would not have been a pleasant conversation. And the last time I did talk directly face-to-face to the governor, he lied to me. So I haven't forgotten that.
Is he friends with Charlie Baker?
Yeah, he must be friends with Charlie Baker up there in Massachusetts. I think realistically, I look around the United States, I see one good governor, and he happens to be in Florida. I'm not sure we have any other good governors.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Who else? Well, they have
maybe the guy in Georgia might be good.
Oh, Kemp. Isn't that Kemp?
But other than that, so what? That's there's 50 states. We got 2 good governors. We're in bad shape here, Diana Ploss.
I know. And you know what, Doc? If we, people think we need people to run for office, but we look at the people in Congress and we go, oh my God, I couldn't do that. They're so much smarter. They're not smarter.
They're not.
They're not. They're just corrupt, maybe.
They're so much
Right?
more corrupt. Yeah. But they're definitely not smarter. So
They're not smarter. And here's the how God has given us an opportunity. He's given us an opportunity to see what is actually important in life. Right?
I agree with that. And I was just looking back here in the chat room. Well, we got Gloria in there. We got Pussy and Ryan Schultz. We got Kathy Lasetta in there, who will be on my show tomorrow. We're going to discuss her book, and I believe the name of the book is "Too Busy to Vote: Why Christians Must Get Involved in Politics," and some of it's her own testimony. And then John Bellinger, good to see you, sir. Or is that Belanger? I used to be in the Air Force with a Belanger.
I think you pronounced it correctly, and I pronounced it John. Marblehead, Massachusetts. He moved to Kentucky, and now I battle. And John somehow saw me on social media. He was inactive, and then saw me. He got active. He started his own group. Kentucky, the number 4 Trump, gotten people registered to vote docs. He's done live stream. He's done a sale for President Trump. That's what I'm saying. One person.
Well, you're right about that. And of course, John says to you, Diana, he said, thank you for finding my patriotic fire. And hello, Cassidy in Florida. And Sue Villamarie, I'm not sure how you pronounce it.
Yes, Sue's a loyal follower, and Sue donated $2 to Coda Vest money. So Sue, thank you, Sue. I know she can't see me.
Yeah, but she can hear you. And
yeah, but the vets are hurting. The vets are hurting. So go to Code of Vets on Twitter. Follow Gretchen Smith. Oh, look, Jessica. Look at that, Doc Green. You see Jessica?
Jessica Ostrom there. I see Jessica.
Finish with Code of Vets. We need to support our veterans. They're hurting right now. So go to Code of Vets. If you can give money, give money. If you can share a post, if you can share a tweet, that'll help Gretchen. Jessica, another hero from Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
She took lemons. She made lemonade.
Yay.
She's homeschooling her 4 kids now after they got.
I love homeschool, and I promote homeschool here. I tell you that my daughter homeschools all 4 of her remaining daughters. She's got one in college now. And I see Lisa said the sound is not clear and occasionally cuts out. I need to know if anybody else is having that problem. Hello, Pepe out in Las Vegas. Glad to see you, our resident F4 pilot. And
Wow.
And Peggy Ann from the almost bankrupt state of Connecticut. We used to call it Cunnicut, but Connecticut. And, we love all of you guys. And, of course, Diana Ploss, a true patriot on WSMN 1590 out of Massachusetts you do a show every day, twice a day, don't you?
No, Friday, but people can and then on Tuesdays I live stream from 8 Governor's house for 3 hours. So
well, I appreciate everything you do, and they're telling me there's some sound issues.
Okay.
Guys, this show is going to be up on the podcast, which you can go to iTunes and get the podcast. Just look right side of the mic on iTunes. You can go to Podbean and subscribe to right side of the mic there. And the sound usually there is very good. And then also it'll be up on YouTube later this afternoon. and you can subscribe to my YouTube channel. Just look for the Doc Green channel on YouTube. Put an E on the end of green, please. Doc Green E. And that way you can see all of the video and get the sound. And today we don't have Diana on video, but next week we will. And we're going to start bringing her in video and audio. And that way she'll be using those fine, that looks like an RE20. That's a fine $600 microphone you got there in the studio, Diana Ploss.
Well, that's in the studio out in Massachusetts. I'm up in New Hampshire on Friday. So that's their thing. But you're they were making Doc Green, can you imagine?
Who would make fun of your microphone?
Can you
Oh, I saw the little fuzzy one on the video, yes.
Doc Green, it's a good
and I want to thank you guys for all of the emoticons. I do appreciate it. I got to say hello to my other good friend, Crystal Lee Larimore, that eventually I'm going to talk her into co-hosting this show with me. We're going to try that. Maybe I'll get her on Skype tomorrow or the next day. But we're doing all of this. Sue, what part of the United States do you hail from? Crystal Lee's down close to Galveston, and Kathy is up near Dallas. So we got to.
Wow. And if I'm breaking up, Doc, and it's not good.
Well,
show,
you're not breaking up to me, but I think Facebook is messing with me. That's
yeah.
which
so
they like to do.
I don't want to take so I can say goodbye, but we will be on my computer tomorrow. Juan's going to, and then we'll be back next week. We'll be in.
Well, we're going to do it. And, guys, I just wanted to introduce you to Diana Ploss. Go to her Facebook page. She's got, I think she's got almost 10,000 more. 10,000 more. Yeah. Oh, yeah. All right. She's got twice as many likes as I have on her Facebook page at 30,000. But you got to go there. You got to like it. Check it out. Her show is worth listening to every day. And then we should also mention Point of View. That's another good show.
That's a great show.
Your studio.
That's a great show. That's with Josh Barnes.
Yep.
I used to be on that show.
He's an associate up in New Hampshire. A lot of great people out and speaking up for the country, Doc. And I feel really fight. It's a fight. It's a war.
Yeah.
But we have.
Well, I'm counting on it. And, yeah, Wally Wood used to be on. You were probably on during the Marlon Maddox days.
Marlon Maddox days, yes. Right back to the beginning.
But anyway.
Well, let me say goodbye, because I know it's hard. Bye, Wally Wood, and I Code of Vets, and I will talk to you next.
All right, Code of Vets. We're going to do it. Thank you, Diana Ploss. At this point, I'm going to pay some bills, and I'm going to be right back. Okay. Guys, please stick with me. I need these guys. This is how I do the show, is because I get some money from advertisers. And we're going to be right back on Right Side of the Mic with Wally Wood. And if you've never heard Wally Wood before, you're going to love this. I mean, you're going to get some information you would never get anywhere else. Be right back on Right Side of the Mic.
Tell people I got off my sofa when I studied the facts. Facts are they were military grade.
And maintenance low. With over 30 years in commercial leasing in Houston, San Antonio, and Dallas, we have learned exactly what our customers require.
Hartman, the power of proven results.
managed on Christian principles with a strong dedication to community benevolence. Whether you need 1,000 or 10,000 square foot of office space, Hartman has that space in one of nearly 50 Texas locations.
Hartman, the power of proven results.
Energy-efficient buildings, customer-friendly experts, supporters of conservative causes. A Texas-owned and operated business for 30 years. A proud corporate sponsor of RagingElephantRadio.com.
Hartman, the power of proven results.
Visit Hartman online, hi-reit.com. Call 800-880-2212 or click the ad on RagingElephantRadio.com.
I'm Joe Dana. As your candidate for Harris County Sheriff, I bring 25 years experience in law enforcement. As a conservative, I am committed to lead and manage the office with integrity, transparency, and accountability. I will preserve and protect the Constitution and the laws of Texas. Time to restore trust in the Sheriff's Office. Please follow our campaign at danaforsheriff.com. Thank you, and may God.
Hello, everybody. My name is Raul Reyes, and I'm running for Congress in Congressional District 23. I am a Trump Republican. I'm from the great city of Del Rio, Texas, born and raised on the border. I'm a retired lieutenant colonel, formerly a vice president of a junior college in Uvalde, Texas. I am a Trump supporter. I believe in America, and we need to put America in District 23 first. We need to secure the border, folks. We have illegal mass migration, and it has to stop. I'm pro-life, and I'm going to defend your religious freedom all the way through my tenure in Congress. I'm for the Second Amendment. No more infringements on our rights to defend ourselves in this great country. And I support our veterans. Being a veteran myself, I fully understand the issues and the problems that we have with the VA medical care system. I'm here to change that. With your support, we can get the care that our veterans need. God bless Texas and God bless America. I'm Raul Reyes, and I approve this message.
Paid for by the Raul Reyes for Congress Committee.
Never want a serious crisis to go to waste. What I mean by that, it's an opportunity to do things that you think you could not do before.
Doc says all the best words start with P. Prudence is a good word. Airlines will always say, put your own mask on first, then help your loved ones. Prudence means making sure that your family is secure. Most stores have at best a 72-hour supply of food, and if something goes wrong, resupply will not happen quickly. You should have at least a 90-day supply of your favorites because it will allow you to weather the worst crisis and make plans for the future. The answer is newmanna.com. N-U-M-A-N-N-A. New Manna is not just food storage, but really tasty food that you will enjoy eating. New Manna food is designed to last for 25 years, but many people enjoy it several times a week. Now is the time to lay in a supply of tasty New Manna food for your family. Be prepared and know your family is safe. Go to newmanna.com right now for fast delivery. That's newmanna.com.
Joe promised Ukraine $1 billion if they fired the prosecutor investigating his son's company.
If the prosecutor's not fired, you're not getting the money. Oh, son of a bitch. Got fired.
But when President Trump asks Ukraine to investigate corruption, the Democrats want to impeach him, and their media lapdogs fall in line. They lost the election. Now they want to steal this one. Don't let them.
Donald Trump, and I approve this message.
Hey, Barry the Music Man here for Tejas Smoke Depot. They have everything you need when it comes to smoke. Check out the 150 square foot walk-in humidor filled with a huge selection of fine cigars. Or give them a call at 830-990-1472 and order up what you want. Maybe you like to roll your own. They have it. Maybe you need a gift for a smoker in the family. How about a new pipe? They have a large selection, even a cross-section of great beers in stock. In a hurry, come by and use the drive-thru, located at 1639 West Highway 290 in Fredericksburg, Texas. Out of town? Visit them at the website, TejasSmokeDepot.com, or call 830-990-1472. That's 830-990-1472. It's smoking.
Please return to the Doc Green Show. This is Marvin the Martian. When you miss it, you make me very, very angry.
And welcome back to the show. And Kathy, yes, we want to pray for your son. Father God, in your name, you are the ultimate healer. And there is no one that can heal like you do, Father God. I just ask you to heal her son, to fix his stomach problems. Use the surgeons if you choose to, but we know that you don't need a man's hand to do anything. And we thank this thing, your name. So, Wally Wood, welcome to the show. We're going to change gears a little bit. And, of course, I kind of surprised you because this Diana thing, we decided to do this last week. And I got to tell you, the virus has kind of discombobulated me. I have no schedule anymore. I just don't even know what I'm doing from day to day. So,
welcome to the new real world, Doc.
Oh, man, I don't think I like it very much. But
well, we weren't supposed to.
You have the floor, and you can take this thing wherever you want to go with it.
Well, just to kind of put perspective on this, we call this show, what do we call it?
Right side of the mic.
No, that's your show.
Oh, your show is
New World
New World Academy on the air. Okay. And, of course, that's where we're doing that.
New World Academy. Pressing the fact of New World. On your show for well over a year, probably approaching 2 years. That's been our single focus, is expect the change, because the change was coming.
It is, and I don't think we can necessarily stop it.
No, you can't. We also have my own TV program on YouTube, RevFile TV, and turn of this year, back in January, entering into a 3D decade. From a biblical prophetic perspective, but also from a real world perspective, a man in final human leader.
Here at hand, yes.
On one of my programs recently, our program on the subject of the candidates for the Antichrist.
Which is in the archive. You guys can check that out if you want to know.
Yes. Revealed 7 candidates in my book, 7 individuals who qualify for being the Antichrist in one capacity or another. Most particularly is the most recent candidate. On my show, I've revealed them by way of photographs, but their faces.
But there's some information there, and you may use that and do your own research.
Yes, yes.
And make your own decision after you've done your own research.
Absolutely. But in light of all this, in recent days, this thought dropped in my mind, and you and I share the same platform on this, that when it comes to your mind that yours, and you identify as not being yours, that's from the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But this thought was, in light of this COVID-19, that from this point forward, everything that happens relative appearance of the, he's on a fast track now. Already,
and he knows his time is short.
He knows his time is short. Well, see, of course, the point is, that won't come about until we're halfway through what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
But he is being positioned, being well received and heralded by the kingmakers. He's a man's man. This man, when you see this man is very stout. That's the word that the scripture uses. He's solid. Decision maker that doesn't has a persona other world leaders toward and pointing to him as being our man. Harold did a few years ago, being our savior. Came forth from the audience of both citizens of his nation and by national leaders, international leaders. Speech. So he's well worth watching. The time is ripe, and it is right. And so everything now moves in the direction of the fulfillment of these times. When I was last with you, I shared with you what could be deemed as a hypothetical thought, being that whether it be through the coronavirus or some other plague that's coming here, that the day would come when we would be mandated, required, no tolerance, be our doctor, receive a certificate. With that certificate, that key number would be a private number, our medical record. But the whole point here is to control the infection rate of this plague by granting rites of passage to those who qualify. Those who do not qualify, or those who do not obey the mandate to see their doctor, will be ostracized in many different ways. And since I was on your show last, we've seen some developments along these lines that are well worth noting. And go to what you kind of passed over a while ago or mentioned, ID 2020. And this is an effort to bring about a system of identification for every human being on Earth. I'm going to quote from the, let's see, an article entitled Global Digital ID with Vaccines is now being promoted as a way to combat the virus. This is taken from the Washington Post, which, and I quote, authorities have hailed the arrival of antibody tests as a potential path to slowly restarting parts of the crippled economy in the not too distant future. Some are already attempting immunity passports. Capture that. Immunity passports.
An immunity passport. Now that's interesting.
Yes.
I suppose that would be to indicate that you've had all of the government mandated vaccinations.
Yes, yes. Immunity passports. Chinese citizens in some places must display a colored code on their smartphone indicating that their infection risk is low. In Germany, a group of researchers are planning to test around 100,000 people at a time for antibodies and give immunity certificates to those who test positive. The goal is the same, restarting the economy without also endangering public health and risking a second large wave of coronavirus casualties, end of quote. Okay. Now, Alex Gladstein is Chief Strategy Officer for the Human Rights Foundation and serves as faculty at the Singularity University. And he noted on his Twitter account, quote, the certificate of immunity won't be a piece of paper. It will be a digital certificate, first on your phone, then on your wearable, then inside your chip. If you don't get the chip, you'll get shamed, publicly shamed. And of course, that's using the Chinese method of spotlighting your sin against society. But beyond that point, you'll also be noted as being someone who is not suitable for traveling in public openly because you're a risk to the public welfare. Now, if you want to, Doc, at this point, if you still have it on your screen.
I've got the website up. Yes.
ID2020.org.
Yep.
Okay. And let's take just a few moments here to recite to your viewers what it is that you're seeing on this particular screen.
All right. I'm on the home page right now, and then I've got this button, Discover the Alliance, check out our logo or whatever that is.
Yeah. Check out our certification mark.
Yeah.
Get the word there. Certification mark. All right. We need to get digital ID right, they say on their opening homepage. Identity is vital for political, economic, and social opportunity. But systems of identification are archaic, insecure. They lack adequate privacy protection, and for over 1 billion people, inaccessible. Digital identity is being defined now, and we need to get it right. And they have a number of different pages. 1.1 billion people worldwide do not have a digital ID. So their task is immense, and they're looking to get an ID, a digitized ID, into every human being on Earth. And one way of doing it is through the proposed vaccination process, which, again, would issue forth the certificate of immunization.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So to you listeners, check this out for yourself, ID2020.org. It's from the ID 2020 Alliance, which was recently brought together for this purpose.
Wow, I'm just noticing here, they've got a ID 2020 certification mark application form. Put in your email, the name of your company, which country you're based in, and then here's the big question. Do you have the authority to legally bind the company?
Okay.
I get chills when do you have the authority to legally bind your company?
Yeah.
What does that even mean?
Yeah. Yeah. You have to dig deeper and drill down to find out exactly what they're talking about and where this is headed. But again, I focus on the fact that day is now at hand where a certificate granting you the right to be free is about to be assigned.
Well, and here's some other great questions. Does the identity lifecycle support the use of a pseudonymous identity?
Yeah. In other words, you must be who you say you are, and you're illegal if you use a pseudonym in any way, shape, or form. Total transparency. And we've talked about this a number of times on your show as well. Total transparency and the repercussions from that.
Yes. So, the word derived from pseudonym means a false name or a disguised identity.
Yeah.
Pseudonym identifies a holder, that is one or more human beings who possess but do not disclose their true names.
Yeah. I remember when I first broke into radio back in 1972. I wasn't there a full day before the producer, program director, asked if I wanted to change my name. And I kind of chuckled. I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "Well, Wally Wood, that's kind of plain, and it's not sexy or anything like this. Can we give you a different name?" I said, "Well, no."
No, that's my name. It's the one I like.
Yeah. And, after a while I said, "Look, fake Hollywood, you got Wallywood. So what's the problem?"
Yeah. Not to be confused with Bollywood, which is an entirely different thing.
Right. But the idea that they would inquire of me, the desire to change my name to make it something more publicly acceptable on the air, I wasn't prepared for. But this is something that, of course, as you know, throughout all of Hollywood and the arts industry, people change their names for whatever reasons. But this particular thing that's coming up, saying that will be a thing of the past. We want to know who you are, and you got to be who you say you are.
Yeah. Can authentication be performed with multiple sources of verification? In other words, they want to have more than one set of proof that you are who you are.
Yeah.
I don't know. I am supremely worried about this, Hollywood. I don't like it just feels slimy to me.
Well, then stay tuned for the rest of the show, brother.
Oh, man.
Because, again, here's another trend that we've been waiting to happen, and it's taking something like this plague to justify these new measures, okay?
Mm-hmm.
COVID-19 strikes global management chord by issuing certificates of immunity, and otherwise known as immunity passports. But we also have something having to do with the new currency that is being brought about by way of this COVID-19.
Well, there is going to be a new currency. So this intrigues me because I happen to have it on relatively good authority that Donald Trump is going to dump the Fed after he gets reelected.
Well,
and I assume that means that it's going to be new currency.
Well, he's going down some very troubled waters if he does, and he doesn't know his history if he does that.
Well,
right?
Yeah. Now we know that other people have tried to do this and didn't end well for them.
Specifically, John F. Kennedy Jr. John F. Kennedy.
Yeah, JFK. Yeah,
right, the president.
He had the greenback dollar.
He issued several hundred million, maybe even over $1 billion, new currency paper dollars. Okay,
based upon our gold reserves.
Right, and he had already made it known. And on his desk, awaiting his return to the Oval Office from Dallas, was a proposed executive order that would do away with the Federal Reserve. Now, this a lot of people do not know.
Yeah, well, I was aware.
Okay, now watch this.
Yeah.
The first official act as the new president in the Oval Office that day, Johnson, he tore up that executive order and threw it away. And you can make of it what you wish, and there's a lot of additional information that is attached to this. But that was Kennedy's intention, was to do away with the Federal Reserve upon his return to the Oval Office after Dallas. And he was denied that opportunity. So
with prejudice.
So I would, again, say to any president, you're tripping down troubled waters if you do not know your history thoroughly enough not to do so.
Well, I indeed have run a show with somebody else's video, but that's where we discussed all of those things and went through all the people that have decided to get rid of the Fed, and they all met with ignominious ends.
Yes, yes.
Donald Trump, on the other hand, he seems to be immune to a lot of this stuff, so maybe he'll be okay. I don't know.
Yeah. But along these same lines, having to do with this change of our currency, let me go into something here. COVID-19 brings digital dollar closer to reality. A grocery store patron brings a canned drink to the checkout stand and insists that the checker not touch the can because, as the shopper says, I don't know where your hands have been.
Mm-hmm.
The checker allows the customer to scan the item himself. The shopper then swipes his debit card, requesting cash back.
Mm-hmm.
As the checker counts the cash to the shopper, he says, 1 cocaine, 2 cocaine, 3 cocaine, ...
Mm.
The stunned shopper says, what in the world are you doing? To which the checker replies, this is where my hands have been all day long, counting money. Now, this true story bears out a very valid point with cash. We exchange a commodity that's been everywhere as it has gone everywhere.
Yes, and a lot of it is tainted drug money.
Listen to this further. In a 2017 study by New York University, quote, traces of cocaine can be found on almost 80% of our dollar bills. Other drugs, including morphine, heroin, methamphetamine, and amphetamine, can also be found on bills. Bacteria that cause food-borne illnesses, including salmonella and a pathogenic strain of E. coli, have been shown to survive on pennies, nickels, dimes, and quarters, and can hide out on ATM machines. Other bacteria, which causes skin infections, are found on banknotes in the U.S. and Canada. Okay? And I quote an acquaintance of mine named David Woolman. I've quoted him before. and I'm holding up his book, The End of Money. Okay, came out a few years ago, and he's also a contributing editor, Wired Magazine.
Yeah.
He made the comment in the book and in Wired Magazine, quoting, "In an era when when books, movies, music, and newsprint are transmuting from atom to bits, money remains irritatingly analog. Physical currency is a bulky, germ-smeared, carbon-intensive, expensive medium of exchange."
Irritatingly analog.
Yes, let's dump it. End of quote. Okay? So as a result of this, there are a number of things that are going on that are pointing to the need for a switch to cryptocurrency. And we're looking at a few things along those lines that are saying that because China early on in the plague began washing their money and radiating their cash to eliminate foreign objects and the diseases and things of this nature, to clean up their money. India followed suit, and then a number of countries have been doing the same. The thought now is arising, look, this is getting too expensive, because all we're doing is that if we're redistributing that currency, it's getting dirty all over again. What's the solution? The solution is cyber currency, cryptocurrency. And there's a major push. In fact, there's a bill being presented in Congress to make that switch from paper currency to crypto on a legal basis, making crypto the legal tender in America. Canada is considering the same.
Probably somebody that's heavily invested in crypto.
Yeah.
Would be behind that.
Yeah. It's kind of like the recent order to close down non-essential businesses. Okay, barbershops are non-essential, but liquor stores are essential. So it leaves you to imagine that the Congress people or the councilmen who've come up with that little law are bald alcoholics, and no need of barbershops, and they do need the liquor store, that type of thing.
John Bellinger says, "Can you get Corona from money that was put in a stripper's?"
Well, you'll have to ask the doctors.
He said, "Asking for a friend."
Yeah. Asking for a friend. Yeah, right. Another book that in my library, and this one is one that I've quoted from heavily, "The Death of Money" by Joel Kurtzman, and he's the former executive editor of Harvard Business Review. Okay, and in taking a look, and this came out I believe in 2012. Okay. So back in 1998. Yeah, 1998. So he was forward looking at that time. He says, money now is different. It's no longer a thing. It is a system. Money is a network. It is connected to the huge number crunching supercomputers at Morgan Stanley and Company, and to the PCs of individual investors using the Equalizer program to buy stocks through Charles Schwab and Company. In this new world of money, even the largest banks no longer need vaults. And he says, few people realize that money, in the traditional sense, has met its demise. Fewer still have paused to reflect on the implications of that fact. And he calls it megabyte money. Is creating a new and different world wherever it proceeds. So these are the setups. William Getz, back in the early 2000s, I think it was 2001, 2002, put out a book, The Economy to Come. Okay. Now, of note here to you, Doc, is he refers to...
Can you put that book up one more time there, Wally?
Okay.
Yeah, I want to make sure, because I was alternating between the website and this.
Okay. He makes several references to something that may sound familiar to you. He quotes from a book, New Money, or not a book, but an article, New Money for a New World, published by W. Wood Jr. in 1981.
I think I know that guy.
You think so? Yeah, it blew me away. He never contacted me to get permission to quote from any of my writing. He says, Wallace Wood Jr., author of Cashless Society, A World Without Money, and publisher of 2 monthly newsletters of news analysis, believes that the chaos is by design. In an article entitled New Money for a New World, and then he goes on to quote me from that. So we knew that something was coming that would justify the switch in our entire status quo as a world. And I'm reminded of something that our good friend David Rockefeller said a long time ago, and I'm quoting him now. We are on the verge of a global transformation. All we need is the right major crisis, and the nations will accept the new world order. Now, put that in context to where we are today. And the things that we're discussing, the things that we are losing, it's all a new world. Okay?
A brave new world, if I can.
Yes. And you can find this on my webpage at the revelationfile.com/oneworld. Let me quote also from Aurelio Pecci. He was the founder of the Club of Rome back in 1980. All right?
Mm-hmm.
In the crisis that's coming and the transformation that will result, every governing system known to man presently will be changed. End of quote.
Wow.
Now, we're living it. We are there. Okay? Nothing will return to what it was. We will always be suspect, even when they say that the coronavirus is finished. At best, they will get the message across that it has been retained, but it's still there. So we'll always be subject to suspicion going forward. The masks have become part of the new fashion of the world. The masks and the gloves, and something that we're being forced to rethink with caution going forward. I don't care what your political position is. I don't care what your prophetic position is. This is the new world that these drafters of the new world have been predicting themselves for a long time.
And the line comes to me from the song. Very superstitious.
Yeah.
Wash your face and hands.
Yeah, So these are things that we must give attention to. We are being redirected at every level. And on a show like this, we will say this. We're being redirected to pay closer attention to the God we say we serve.
Yes. And I think that this current situation we're in with all the lockdowns and everything has demonstrated to us what gods we really do serve.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's plenty of comments on that as well. I know that we're late for your break.
Teresa said, look at what the Pope said on Easter. And I don't know specifically what the Pope said on Easter. So, Teresa, if you drop that in there, I'll read it. We're going to hit this break. We're going to be right back. And Kathy Lucetta, thank you for being part of the show today. She'll be on the show tomorrow, and we're going to talk about the book that she and her husband wrote, Too Busy to Vote, and how the fact that Christians have just let everything go have given us what we have today. And I don't think you completely disagree with that, Wally.
No. Well, again, what have we said before ad nauseum? Jesus said it, that when he comes back, all 10 virgins were asleep. That included the 5 wise.
Yep, they were all asleep.
They fell lethargic.
And that is a picture of the church.
And apathetic.
Because the 10 virgins all were representing the church.
That's right. They were virgins. They were Christians, believers.
So the Pope said he calls for a universal basic income.
Yes.
The Pope is. He said, we promoted structural changes, criticized the economy of exclusion and inequality. Now, remember, guys, whenever these wonderful globalists are talking to you about inequality and wanting to get rid of inequality, they're not thinking that, Donald Trump's got a Rolls Royce, you should have one too. they're not thinking Donald Trump lives in a 40,000 square foot penthouse. You should too. No, they're thinking everyone should be equal, as in mud huts and with no indoor plumbing. That's the kind of equality they're talking about. We'll talk about that more when we come back after this break. It's all you, Frank. Be right back on the right side of the mic.
Join us in the chat on YouTube and Facebook.
Hartman, the power of proven results.
One of the premier property management companies in Texas, providing below market rates with above market amenities and service. Hartman has owned and operated commercial office properties since 1983, offering premium office space at an affordable price by saving businesses a significant amount of money by keeping taxes, utilities, and maintenance low. With over 30 years in commercial leasing in Houston, San Antonio, and Dallas, we have learned exactly what our customers require.
Hartman, the power of proven results.
Managed on Christian principles with a strong dedication to community benevolence. Whether you need 1,000 or 10,000 square foot of office space, Hartman has that space in one of nearly 50 Texas locations.
Hartman, the power of proven results.
Energy efficient buildings, customer friendly experts, supporters of conservative causes. A Texas owned and operated business for 30 years. A proud corporate sponsor of RagingElephantRadio.com.
Hartman, the power of proven results.
Visit Hartman online, hi-REIT.com. Call 800-880-2212 or click the ad on RagingElephantRadio.com.
Doc says all the best words start with P. Prudence is a good word. Airlines will always say, put your own mask on first, then help your loved ones. Prudence means making sure that your family food supply is secure. Most stores have at best a 72-hour supply of food, and if something goes wrong, resupply will not happen quickly. You should have at least a 90-day supply of your favorites because it will allow you to weather the worst crisis and make plans for the future. The answer is newmanna.com. N-U-M-A-N-N-A. New Manna is not just food storage, but really tasty food that you will enjoy eating. New Manna food is designed to last for 25 years, but many people enjoy it several times a week. Now is the time to lay in a supply of tasty New Manna food for your family. Be prepared and know your family is safe. Go to newmanna.com right now for fast delivery. That's newmanna.com.
I'm Joe Dana. As your candidate for Harris County Sheriff, I bring 25 years experience in law enforcement. As a conservative, I am committed to lead and manage the office with integrity, transparency, and accountability. I will preserve and protect the Constitution and the laws of Texas. It's time to restore trust in the Sheriff's Office. Please follow our campaign at danaforsheriff.com. Thank you, and may God bless you all.
Hello, everybody. My name is Raul Reyes, and I'm running for Congress in Congressional District 23. I am a Trump Republican. I'm from the great city of Del Rio, Texas, born and raised on the border. I'm a retired lieutenant colonel, formerly a vice president of a junior college in Uvalde, Texas. I am a Trump supporter. I believe in America, and we need to put America in District 23 first. We need to secure the border, folks. We have illegal mass migration, and it has to stop. I'm pro-life, and I'm going to defend your religious freedom all the way through my tenure in Congress. I'm for the Second Amendment. No more infringements on our rights to defend ourselves in this great country. And I support our veterans. Being a veteran myself, I fully understand the issues and the problems that we have with the VA medical care system. I'm here to change that. With your support, we can get the care that our veterans need. God bless Texas and God bless America. I'm Raul Reyes, and I approve this message.
Paid for by the Raul Reyes for Congress Committee.
You never want a serious crisis to go to waste. And what I mean by that, it's an opportunity to do things that you think you could not do before.
Joe Biden promised Ukraine $1 billion if they fired the prosecutor investigating his son's company.
If the prosecutor's not fired, you're not getting the money. Oh, son of a bitch. Got fired.
But when President Trump asks Ukraine to investigate corruption, the Democrats want to impeach him. and their media lapdogs fall in line. They lost the election. Now they want to steal this one. Don't let them.
I'm Donald Trump, and I approve this message.
Hey, Barry the Music Man here for Tejas Smoke Depot. They have everything you need when it comes to smoke. Check out the 150 square foot walk-in humidor filled with a huge selection of fine cigars. Or give them a call at 830-990-1472 and order up what you want. Maybe you like to roll your own. They have it. Maybe you need a gift for a smoker in the family. How about a new pipe? They have a large selection, even a cross-section of great beers in stock. In a hurry, come by and use the drive-thru. Located at 1639 West Highway 290 in Fredericksburg, Texas. Out of town? Visit them at the website, TejasSmokeDepot.com, or call 830-990-1472. That's 830-990-1472. It's smoking.
Like the sounds of cannons on the horizon, please return with me to the Amazing Green Show, because I like things that go kaboom.
And we're back on Right Side of the Mic. I want to thank all of you guys for joining us, everybody out in American Voice Radio Land, or whatever radio station you may be listening to. I want to thank Diana Ploss also for being part of the first half of our show. And I see my buddy Wayne Howell got a call from somebody down in Sugar Land, and he had to go get rid of a snake down there. Well, except for he doesn't get rid of snakes, he collects them. And in this particular case, it was a diamond-backed water snake. And but it doesn't appear to be very bitey, so that's okay. It's a good thing. Glad he got that snake, and that snake will do just fine. Now, what to do about the snakes in our government? Oh, I'm sorry, Wayne. I know. I promised you I wouldn't do that. What to do with the rats in our government is a whole nother matter, and maybe we need a rat snake to solve that problem. But I do have Wally Wood with me today here in the studio, and we're talking about the New World Order, what is going on in our lives today, and well, what you might want to do about it. So anyway, check it out.
Your segues or something else. Take me into the talk of snakes.
So anyway, no, I just had to mention that. That's a fat snake, let me tell you.
Well, on this particular subject here, we'll see what we can do with it. Quoting Governor Cuomo recently, he says that the number is down, having to do with the COVID-19 numbers in New York City, because we brought the number down, he told the press. God did not do that. Faith did not do that. Destiny did not do that. A lot of pain and suffering did that. That's how it works. It's math. And if you don't understand, or if you don't continue to do that, you're going to see that number go back up. And that will be a tragedy if that number goes back up. End of quote. Now, without bringing religion into it, it makes common sense that the number going down is because of the isolation factors that are involved.
Mm-hmm.
If we don't do our part, then the consensus is that the number is going to go up, it's going to get worse, and things like this. And I'm not going to address that. But what I do want to address is the phenomena of criticism that has come forth in the press, both from the faith-oriented journalists and writers and the secular writers who have really come out against Cuomo in making the comment that God had nothing to do with it. I want to quote.
Oh, by the way, just so that for you guys that are new to the show, we got a lot of new listeners today. And hello, Jim Monk from, I believe he's in jolly old England. Nice to see you on the show.
Yeah, good.
But it is going to be Andrew Cuomo. He will be the Democrat nominee for president. It's not going to be Sleepy Joe.
Okay.
So, anyway.
All right. Peter Heck wrote in his online newsletter response, quoting, For some reason, Governor Cuomo found it appropriate to chastise anyone who would offer thanks to God for the first signs of hope and healing after weeks of death and tumult. He goes on to say, to a Christian, that kind of arrogance is breathtaking and heartbreaking. Imagine Noah lecturing his family that their survival aboard the ark was the result of their own hard work and sacrifice, not God. Imagine Moses instructing the Israelites that their deliverance from Egypt and sustenance in the wilderness was a testament to their own pain and suffering, not God. It seems silly because it is. Man's greatest efforts, apart from the grace of God, and ends catastrophically. Man has always sought to steal glory from his Creator, attributing to his own ingenuity, resourcefulness, and skill the mercies of a God to whom he owes the very breath in his lungs. Those of us who know better must commit ourselves to humbleness and prayer, not just asking for God's blessing on our nation's efforts to quell a virus, but for forgiveness and pardon for the prideful leaders we have unwisely chosen. End of quote. Isn't that something?
That is.
Catherine Jean Lopez is senior fellow at the National Review Institute and an editor-at-large for the National Review magazine. And on April 17th, she wrote, and I quote, "So what do we do with that? Maybe in our anxiety and stir crazy and fear, there's an invitation to ask God why it is that we're living as we are in this crisis. Maybe it's an opportunity to ask him how it is that he sees us and what is that he wants to show us. Consider it's a chance to be grateful for what we've been blessed with in life and let him reprioritize things. Maybe that job was killing your soul. When Andrew Cuomo declares that God has played no role in our successes and protection and healing, he is missing why we need our churches to stay open. We need grace. We need supernatural help. Some of us feel like we're dying inside. Of course, that feeling may be a good sign. The real bad death is in triumphant declarations that God has no hand in our lives at our most vulnerable point. We need him. He is near. God, continue to help us and have mercy on us for our stubborn blindness." End of quote. This is the one of the editors at the National Review magazine. All right. Jim Daly, president of Focus on the Family, in his Daily Focus blog, writes, quote, "Secularism's rise has been marked by an increasing belief that man, not God, is at the center of all things. How many of us, like Governor Cuomo, often credit ourselves, our intellect, hard work, cleverness, curiosity, or connections with our success? It's true that our actions have consequences, but God is sovereign, and he will ultimately have his own way." End of quote. From the Western Journal by C. Douglas Golden, in an article entitled "God Did Not Do That," Governor Cuomo tries to steal glory from God for flattening the curve.
Wow.
And he writes in the Western Journal, a secular newspaper, quote, "I'm sure this came across as a very solid lesson in his own head, but to lots of other people, it came across as a mockery of the religious. No matter who he identifies as the we that pulled off bending the curve, and it sure sounds an awful lot like him and the people calling the shots in the New York state government, he's saying that God isn't involved in this at all. At some level, wouldn't you at least step back and try some humility?" Again, this is a secular writer, okay? Quoting, "Wouldn't there be better ways to make this point than invoking God and faith and saying they have nothing to do with this?"
Well,
for that matter,
as Teresa said, Governor Cuomo is arrogant.
yeah. For that matter, how are prayer and faith the opposite of flattening the curve? Is God telling the good people of New York to do something stupid and spread the virus around? But thankfully, I listened to the state authorities, and the arc is bending downward. Might you possibly see the problem with this formulation? If God is not responsible for taking it down, then we're responsible for it. Okay. Continuing the quote: God and faith are not the polar opposites of responsibility, something that Cuomo should have probably considered before launching this ill-considered attack in which he made it seem as though government, not God, was responsible for getting the numbers down. In the midst of a pandemic, we need God more than ever. Now capture that. This is a secular journalist.
Yeah. Well, see, because I think for some people, this has been an eye opener and an alarm clock,
a life changer. Yes.
Yes.
He goes on to say, and I'll say this again. I'll repeat what I just read. In the midst of a pandemic, we need God more than ever. We don't need to be telling New Yorkers that we can't go it alone. Thanks, since we've got it under control. If we just listen to the government. What an ugly, stupid message to be sending out at a time when it's least needed. End of quote.
Yes.
Wow. This
from
is
a secular writer.
Yeah, this is some good stuff, folks. And just kind of put this in a Governor Cuomo perspective, okay, in his history. Quoting the New York Post, January 18th, 2014, the headline, Governor Cuomo to conservatives, leave New York. Quoting the article, Governor Cuomo has a message for conservative Republicans. You don't belong in New York. Cuomo said Friday that members of the GOP with extreme views are creating an identity crisis for their party and represent a bigger worry than Democrats such as himself. Quoting Cuomo,
I'd like to know what those extreme views are.
Okay, well, you're going to hear it in just a second.
Okay.
Quoting Cuomo, their problem isn't me and the Democrats. Their problem is themselves, the governor said at the Capitol Press Room radio show, continuing his quote. Who are they? Right to life, pro-assault weapons, anti-gay. If that's who they are, they have no place in the state of New York because that's not who New Yorkers are. End of quote.
So, all right, taking that for a minute, then who would New Yorkers be then, based on what he just said?
Well, according to his analysis here, they are pro gun limit advocates, they are pro-abortion, and they are pro-homosexual.
Okay, so that means that he thinks New Yorkers are pagans, they hate guns, they love homosexuality, and the very opportunity to kill an innocent child is something that they are looking for and excited about.
And he's putting it in the frame of being the majority of New Yorkers. So
oh man, and you know what? I'll bet he's right.
Yeah, probably, but we don't know. We have no facts. But I'm just taking.
Well, they elected him. They elected who's that baboon? That's the mayor of New York City.
Bloomberg.
No, that was the old mayor. I'm trying to remember the new one. The new one. He's a doofus from hell. I can tell you that. Yeah, so I got a feeling he's right about who really belongs to New York. I think you've got to be an immoral anti-American to belong to New York, to be a part of New York.
True, perhaps, but here's my position on this. Look, you can't put in a box everybody in the room if you've got anybody in the room that is contradictory to or contrary to your concept of the whole. All right?
De Blasio, thank you, Pussy. I appreciate that.
You may not have voted for President Obama, but the majority apparently did. So is it fair to say that all Americans voted for Obama and his policies at the time that he was King of America?
I think I think there was probably some nefariousness going on. Remember that Barack Obama, to this day, I mean, he used a lot of aliases throughout his life. We really don't know who he is. No, that's never been presented correctly.
Okay. Well,
but I do know this: God put him in the office of president.
Yeah, because God rules in the affairs of men, and that's exactly where I'm taking my next comments here. Is in what little time we have left. God rules in the affairs of men. 1 Kings 12:15 in the Message Bible says, Rehoboam turned a deaf ear to the people. God was behind all this, confirming the message that he gave to Jeroboam, the son of Nebat. Now, as a story background, Rehoboam was the son of Solomon, and he followed in his father's footsteps into reign of Israel when Solomon died. I've referred to Rehoboam as the yuppie of his days because he was young and he had a bevy of friends who wanted to position themselves in his reign, and he allowed them to do so. And so rather than listening to the counselors of his father, Rehoboam decided to go his own way and follow the suggestions of his friends, his fellow yuppie friends, and take the nation directly dichotomy away from the way that Solomon ruled the nation.
And part of that was Rehoboam raised taxes.
Yeah. Well, Jeroboam, little more than just a mop closet manager by comparison. And God reaches out to Jeroboam and promises him the kingdom to take it out of Rehoboam's hand. And that's when this particular passage pops up. Now, I want you to pay attention to this again. It was a change of circumstance brought about by the Lord, the New American Standard says, so that his word might be fulfilled that he gave to Jeroboam. A change in circumstances that God brought about so that his word might be fulfilled. Okay? And we seldom ever see God in that kind of control. And this is what I'm calling every believer who listens to your show to rethink. Lift your anxieties and your concerns and your fears above the surface of the status quo. Get your eyes off of the things that are happening before your eyes, because these are diversions. Not that they're not real, but they're intended by the enemy to divert your greater strength away from your faith. And if he can lock us in, that's why in Hebrews it says that the good soldier does not entangle himself in the affairs of life, the daily affairs of life, that he may show himself to be a worthy soldier to the one who hired him.
Yeah.
All right.
And we've somewhat maintained that in our military today, even, whereas soldiers are called to not be political while they're in uniform.
Right. The attached to this is Daniel 4, verses 16 through 17, concerning Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, all right, in his day. Capture this. This is God talking to the prophet Daniel concerning Nebuchadnezzar. Nebuchadnezzar has set himself up with great pride. He's boasting about what he's done by his own hand. Sound familiar?
Yeah.
And so he's boasting before the gods, plural, that this he brought about himself.
Yes.
Daniel chapter 4, verses 16 through 17. God is speaking. Let his mind be changed from that of a man, and let him be given the mind of a beast, till 7 years pass him by.
Oh, yeah.
This decision is the decree of the watchers, the angels, the verdict declared by the holy ones, so that the living will know that the Most High is ruler over the kingdom of mankind, and gives it to whom he wishes, setting over it the lowliest of men. Okay?
Wow.
Now, I've checked this out. In secular history, and this amazes me. In secular history, look up Nebuchadnezzar in an encyclopedia, okay, and see what they say. They give you the years of his reign as king minus 7 years.
Wow.
when he abdicated the throne.
Well, yeah, where people said he's insane. We got to have somebody else to be the king. We can't trust this guy.
But the point is, they had nobody else. For 7 years, the throne was empty. As Nebuchadnezzar went around the land eating grass like a cow.
Yeah, but they had to have administrators, of course, to run the government.
And administration, but the throne was empty.
The throne was empty.
And secular history verifies what the Bible says. For 7 years, he was empty.
Once again, I tell all you non-Bible believers, you non-Bible readers, the Bible has never been proven wrong.
No.
And several people, educated people with multiple college degrees, set out to prove the Bible was wrong, ended up becoming believers. So you might want to give that some consideration. Before we go to break, John Bellinger asked a question. I think it was him that asked the question. No, Pussy Schultz asked a question. Are you familiar with any of the Kim Clement prophecies about Trump?
Absolutely. I knew Kim Clement, and we talked about them quite often, especially when he came to Houston.
Well, I was always impressed with Kim Clement's stuff, and
yes,
and at least he got to see it come to pass.
Well, yeah, that's true. He saw that part, and the things that he prophesied following all that. Of course, he's not been here to see, but his last visit to Houston, he made the comment. He said he was asking the Lord, "Why do you keep sending me back to Houston? What's so special about Houston?" And the Lord told him, he said, "Because there's an open heaven over Houston that I want you to capitalize on and to build."
Wow, I have heard that in other churches and other places worded differently.
Yes, and they picked it up from Kim, because the day he showed up here the last time, he had been in prayer on his trip back to Houston. And that's when he asked the Lord, why Houston?
Wow.
Because there's an open heaven over Houston.
Wow. On that note, that'll give you something to think about. We got to pay some bills here. We're going to be right back with Wallace Wood. And give me a couple of websites we can have people go to.
Okay.
So your websites.
Oh, mine?
Yes.
Right now? Okay.
Yeah, just
WallywoodMinistries.com.
Mm-hmm.
That's the predominant one. The other one is TheRevelationFile.com. TheRevelationFile.com. A third one, I've got 5 of them. A third one is Diginomics Central. Diginomics.
Yes, you are talking today to the guy that coined the phrase Diginomics.
Yes, DiginomicsCentral.com. Okay. And WallywoodTechNews.com. Okay. On that one, you'll see my tribute to astronaut Gene Cernan, the last man to walk on the moon.
Who I happen to know personally as well.
Gene was very, very helpful to me in getting started the National Space and Technology Association in 2003. And he was a big supporter of my coming up with the very first news bureau for the space program in the 80s. Okay.
So for all you guys to say we didn't go to the moon, Gene Cernan would disagree.
Yeah. And then the other one is Transparent World, OurTransparentWorld.com. And this is where I take you deeper into the idea of being totally transparent so that the Antichrist may rule the world, declaring himself to be God.
So on that note, we're going to be right back after these messages. Stick around, guys.
Join us in the chat on YouTube and Facebook.
Hey, Barry the Music Man here for Tejas Smoke Depot. They have everything you need when it comes to smoke. Check out the 150 square foot walk-in humidor filled with a huge selection of fine cigars. Or give them a call at 830-990-1472 and order up what you want. Maybe you'd like to roll your own. They have it. Maybe you need a gift for a smoker in the family. How about a new pipe? They have a large selection, even a cross-section of great beers in stock. In a hurry, come by and use the drive-thru. Located at 1639 West Highway 290 in Fredericksburg, Texas. Out of town? Visit them at the website, TejasSmokeDepot.com, or call 830-990-1472. That's 830-990-1472. It's smoking.
Doc says all the best words start with P. Prudence is a good word. Airlines will always say, put your own mask on first, then help your loved ones. Prudence means making sure that your family food supply is secure. Most stores have at best a 72-hour supply of food, and if something goes wrong, resupply will not happen quickly. You should have at least a 90-day supply of your favorites because it will allow you to weather the worst crisis and make plans for the future. The answer is newmanna.com. N-U-M-A-N-N-A. New Manna is not just food storage, but really tasty food that you will enjoy eating. New Manna food is designed to last for 25 years, but many people enjoy it several times a week. Now is the time to lay in a supply of tasty New Manna food for your family. Be prepared and know your family is safe. Go to newmanna.com right now for fast delivery. That's newmanna.com.
Hello, everybody. My name is Raul Reyes, and I'm running for Congress in Congressional District 23. I am a Trump Republican. I'm from the great city of Del Rio, Texas, born and raised on the border. I'm a retired lieutenant colonel, formerly a vice president of a junior college in Uvalde, Texas. I am a Trump supporter. I believe in America, and we need to put America in District 23 first. We need to secure the border, folks. We have illegal mass migration, and it has to stop. I'm pro-life, and I'm going to defend your religious freedom all the way through my tenure in Congress. I'm for the Second Amendment. No more infringements on our rights to defend ourselves in this great country. And I support our veterans. Being a veteran myself, I fully understand the issues and the problems that we have with the VA medical care system. I'm here to change that. With your support, we can get the care that our veterans need. God bless Texas and God bless America. I'm Raul Reyes, and I approve this message.
Paid for by the Raul Reyes for Congress Committee.
You never want a serious crisis to go to waste. And what I mean by that, it's an opportunity to do things that you think you could not do before.
Joe Biden promised Ukraine $1 billion if they fired the prosecutor investigating his son's company.
If the prosecutor's not fired, you're not getting the money. Oh, son of a bitch. Got fired.
But when President Trump asks Ukraine to investigate corruption, the Democrats want to impeach him, and their media lapdogs fall in line. They lost the election. Now they want to steal this one. Don't let them.
I'm Donald Trump, and I approve this message.
I'm Joe Dana. As your candidate for Harris County Sheriff, I bring 25 years experience in law enforcement. As a conservative, I am committed to lead and manage the office with integrity, transparency, and accountability. I will preserve and protect the Constitution and the laws of Texas. It's time to restore trust in the Sheriff's Office. Please follow our campaign at danaforsheriff.com. Thank you, and may God bless you all.
Hartman, the power of proven results.
One of the premier property management companies in Texas, providing below-market rates with above-market amenities and service. Hartman has owned and operated commercial office properties since 1983, offering premium office space at an affordable price by saving businesses a significant amount of money by keeping taxes, utilities, and maintenance low. With over 30 years in commercial leasing in Houston, San Antonio, and Dallas, we have learned exactly what our customers require.
Hartman, the power of proven results.
Managed on Christian principles with a strong dedication to community benevolence. Whether you need 1,000 or 10,000 square foot of office space, Hartman has that space in one of nearly 50 Texas locations.
Hartman, the power of proven results.
Energy-efficient buildings, customer-friendly experts, supporters of conservative causes. A Texas-owned and operated business for 30 years. A proud corporate sponsor of RagingElephantRadio.com.
Hartman, the power of proven results.
Visit Hartman online, hi-REIT.com. Call 800-880-2212 or click the ad on RagingElephantRadio.com.
Like the sounds of cannons on the horizon, please return with me to the Amazing Green Show, because I like things that go kaboom.
The doctor will see you now.
Oh, yeah, and I'm seeing you right now, like the sound of cannons on the horizon. And we're here, we're making some noise today. And to answer Poosie's question, yes. Yes, indeed. I am aware of the letter, and it's very interesting. I don't think I'm going to go into that today, but I will tell you this. We're talking about some strange things that are going on. I can give you this hope. There's no question in my mind that Donald Trump gets reelected. None whatsoever. And this virus was intended to be a lot bigger than it ever became. And because of some actions that Donald Trump has taken, and I would go so far as to say led by God, Donald Trump is a praying man. He wasn't always a praying man. He became a praying man after he got elected president. Demonstrates wisdom, in my opinion. Donald Trump will be reelected. They intended for this thing to blow up and to prevent anybody from ever voting for a Republican again. And when Andrew Cuomo, when his ads start running for November, and they'll be quoting worst unemployment in the history of America, worst economy in the history of America, and it's all Donald Trump's fault. That's the way those ads are going to go. But nobody's going to believe it. The news media has completely lost its credibility with 2/3 of the people in the United States. Now, there's 1/3 that I truly believe what the Bible says, that God gave them over to a reprobate mind, that they would believe a lie rather than the truth because they refuse to retain the knowledge of God in their hearts. I believe that's already happened. And so, and you've heard on previous shows that we've done here with my friend Wally Wood, we talked about the restrainer in 2 Thessalonians, I think it's 2022?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. So we talked about the restrainer, and the restrainer, no doubt in my mind, has been removed. That's why you're seeing things you're seeing. I hand it back to you for the remainder of the show, Wally Wood.
Well, thank you, sir. There's a lot of scuttlebutt floating around these days, and if you're not careful, you find yourself being persuaded to go one way or the other, whether there's truth in the scuttlebutt or not. And it's sad that in our efforts as believers, that we want to push the edge of the envelope to the non-believers in hopes that it will get their attention and cause them to change their mind about the times we're living in. And unfortunately, it just kind of makes us all look like fools when somebody comes along and says, well, what you just pushed out is not true. And it just shows that we don't do our homework. In a case in point, the so-called 28th Amendment to the Constitution, which is floating around right now, a proposed 28th Amendment effort.
To be fair, that's been floating around for more than 12 years.
Yes. But see, the people who are pushing this don't realize that because they haven't done their homework. All right. And we won't even go into that to any depth, but I would say to you that if you were to check Snopes, factcheck.org, truthifiction.com, you'll find some very viable rebuttal to this thing that, like you said a while ago, has been circulating off and on for better than 12 years. Okay.
Now, to be fair, though, Snopes is run by a Canadian fellow who's not an American citizen. He is financed by George Soros, and he's married to a porn star. So keep that in mind. That is Snopes. It's basically a one-man operation with his porn star wife. He divorced his first wife to marry the porn star. Go ahead, sir.
Okay. I go straight to the elements of the rebuttal because I'm a newsman, all right? And so it's not even their legacy or their background that is of interest to me. What is of interest to me is, okay, what are the facts that can be brought forth to contradict or condescend the facts that are reportedly going around as truth, okay? And that's why I went to these other websites as well, fact-check websites, because they, too, offer proof to show that the rumor that's circulating is ill-advised and is wrongly being used for nefarious purposes. Another thing that has gotten my attention here recently is the Microsoft patent number 666. And this is of more recent.
I'd not heard this. This is news to me. You guys probably know this. You guys are the smartest audience in the world. I didn't know this.
Yeah, there's some evidence going around to show that this particular thing is of great interest because of the timing of it all, and so everybody's talking about this so-called patent number 666. If you go to Snopes and fact check, you'll find that the actual number that has been issued by the patent office is a nearly 12-digit number that contains 3 sixes. The prefix to the number is WO, which many have suggested stands for World Order, but it doesn't. It's an actual 3-letter abbreviation for an organization that issued the patent. So it has nothing to do with world order. The proponents of this particular rumor say that this patent addresses a microchip. But when you read the patent, nowhere in there does it mention a microchip. It has to do with a cyber currency payment system that is attached to wearables and to other elements on your body, but it has nothing to do with a microchip being implanted in the body. So again, you check these things out before you circulate them, and it reminds me of something that happened many years ago when the news was that Madalyn Marie O'Hare was suing the FCC to drop and to eliminate all religious programming of every kind. And about every 5 years on average, this thing recirculates through the internet, inviting people to sign a petition to stop the FCC from proceeding with this suit or allowing this to happen. Well, again, it's been rendered false. And I have a personal connection with this because back in the 70s, mid-70s, I was working for a large international ministry when this news broke. And so our research department contacted Madalyn Marie O'Hare. We talked with the atheist herself, and she laughed us to scorn. And she said, yes, we generated that story. We know it's false, but you don't. And she said, this story will most likely outlive me. Well, guess what?
It has.
It has. And it continues to recirculate. And the FCC for a long time, I've checked recently, it's no longer there, but for a long time on their front page on their website, they posted their denial that this lawsuit even existed to try and quench the population of this nation from getting onto this rumor mill and signing these fictitious petitions. So this is a warning to Christians. Know your stuff. Do your research.
Do your own research.
Okay.
It's important. I personally would not include Snopes on any of my research.
And that's
because I have proven that they are unreliable. I know who they are.
Okay. And there's let me see if I can get.
Speaking of unreliable, let me insert this before you get to that last point. As of today, and today is April the 23rd, 2020, here in the United States, right now today, this is terrible, terrible news, but 0.002% of Americans have been either diagnosed or misdiagnosed with the virus. That's right. We have shut down the entire world for 0.002% of the population. So go on, sir.
Well, I'll just close my portion here by saying, again, reiterating what Jesus said. He said, stay on the alert. Do not be easily caught up in deception. Do your homework, know your stuff before you even venture out there, because it's not just you're representing.
And pray. You've got to pray.
You've got to pray, and you're representing him in everything that you do and say. So that's how I close my program, and that is the fact that we're not in this by ourselves. It has nothing to do with us. It has to do with the fulfillment of his word in our time, and that the generation that sees these things will see with its eye the splitting of the eastern sky. Amen.
And guys, it's going to happen. Stay prayed up. Do not stop praying. Do not stop praying. And if you've never been a praying man, I'm asking you to start praying. You're seeing him hold it up right there, Isaiah 18. That is a great book,
It's
by
a
the way.
manuscript that I wrote a couple of years ago, Isaiah 18, to a mystery nation in a distant time.
And you should get a copy of that. You can get that at Wallywood Ministries.
Yes, WallywoodMinistries.com.
WallywoodMinistries.com. Guys, I want to thank you for being part of the show today. I want to thank Diana Ploss for the first half of the show. And Jim Monk, our Scottish friend. Glad to have you as part of the show. And I hope you're going to be a regular, Jim. I appreciate it. Always interested in the view from the other side of the pond. And Pussy Schultz, thank you. Michael Fernstein, first time I've ever seen you. You must be from Diana's show. She's brought me a lot of new listeners, and I'm grateful to her. On that note, guys, I'm turning it back over to Frank. God willing, I'll see you here tomorrow. Same doc time, same doc channel, or maybe at the Alamo on the 25th at 3 o'clock.
Join us in the chat on YouTube and Facebook.